Hare Krishna. It's Ronald Singh Ramachandra Channel International.
Jai.
Hare
We are
Krishna.
Yeah,
going.
What does that mean to go live? I don't understand that.
All the
Live me.
world seeing us. All the world seeing us.
Okay, got you.
yeah. Uh,
Got it.
is that
That's right.
Mahaprabhu?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Yes,
yeah.
Mahaprabhu is
Okay.
here.
What it means is all this conversation was just with us, not online.
No,
And when
it's
you
live
guys
now.
go live, it puts it online, and so other
Okay.
people
It's
can hear it.
Yeah,
Around
right.
20,000 people, 25,000
yeah.
people have the opportunity to hear it.
And
So
it's on
far, I don't
YouTube
think
So
also.
we're
a few
live on
people.
Facebook,
Facebook,
Okay, here we
on
are.
YouTube. Sorry.
YouTube.
So we're live on YouTube.
Fantastic.
Anyone who's watching
Mm,
can join our conversation via the Zoom link, or they can ask questions on the YouTube chat box, and I'll be posting the link there. If you want to join the conversation live, you can join on Zoom.
mm.
So
Excellent.
we can have more than 100 people join us
Wow.
on the Zoom meetings, and they can ask questions. They can input. So, Chirananda Prabhu, you wanted to discuss something. Kindly say what you wanted to discuss.
Well, I suggest the
You
subject
said
about the
something about
Sahaj.
Sahaja within
Yes,
ISKCON.
the Sahaja problem all over the world. I mean, not only
Yeah, now,
ISKCON.
can you define Sahaja for us in the context of what we're talking?
Simply speaking, it's pretender, people wearing tilak and dhoti nicely, but Shobotter, they are just pretending to be devotees because devotee position means money. You can get a lot of money, mainly if it's saffron clothing, and it's getting more and more of a problem. So
In the
we like to
temples.
discuss. Sorry?
In the temples, it's more and more of a problem.
Well, in the temples or out also, because many are out of ISKCON also, but still posing as Vaishnavas, because
Well,
it's
now
very,
remember, it's very easy to be a Vaishnava thanks to Srila Prabhupada. And Vaishnava, what he has done is miraculously created a category that we now can see is described as Kanista Adhikaris. So it's just a question as to what level are they on? Obviously, the cheaters, the money guys, etc., are at the bottom of Kanista Adhikari. Where they would not be Kanista Adhikari is if they break the regulative principles, or if they don't chant japa, or if they don't go to kirtan, etc. Even if they don't seriously believe in anything, if they do it, they're Kanista Adhikaris. Kanista Adhikari can go down pretty low as long as you know that you are a pure spirit soul. As if you know, if I say Aham Brahmasmi, then you are a Kanista Adhikari, and the rest is just moving upward comfortably from that point to a higher and higher realization of what the Kanista Adhikari platform really has to offer. Because remember, it starts out as a social thing or even an exploitive thing of getting money. It starts out like that, but as you progress, it gets more and more spiritual, right? It gets more and more spiritual as you go up in the Kanista Adhikari platform. Fairly broad platform. I used to think that the Kanista platform was narrow, but actually the Kanista platform is very wide, meaning, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60, 80, 90, 100%. When you finish 100%, you're ready to try the uh, Madhyamadikari platform. You finished with all the
Ah,
sense
Sahaja.
gratification, money, sahaja. You finished all that.
So, I mean, a Sahaja is considered a Kanishta Adhikari? I mean, anyone can
No,
say I'm spirits. No? No, right?
The Sahaja, technically a Sahaja is a person who is a pretender only. He doesn't do any
Right,
devotional service.
Mm.
right.
Just a pretender. If there are people
Yeah.
in the ISKCON movement who are acting like Sahajas, they're still above the Sahaja because if they go to the morning program, chant Hare Krishna, etc., even though they do everything badly, they're still Kanistha Adhikaris. It's an amazing thing. Only since our conversations began has it struck me how amazing it was for Srila Prabhupada to create the society of Kanistha Adhikaris that are whose goal, whose objective is to go back to Godhead, to become Uttama Adhikaris. And yet there's no mention except in the nectar of instruction as to what these Madhyam and Kanistha and Uttama Adhikaris are. So he created Kanistha Adhikaris and he gave us the data so that when we got to the point of saying, hey, what's going on here for real? What is this bogus GBC? What is these bogus initiators? What is this all about? And yet the program is going on. There's no failure there. If it turned into people serving hamburger beef in the temple instead of prasadam, that would be a collapse. But it's not like that. It's prasadam offered to Krishna.
Mm.
Hopefully, things that Krishna is known to like. And, not chocolate bars and cornflakes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Okay, does that make any sense?
I didn't get the point about offering to the live gurus. Is it okay to offer to the living guru, or should it be offered to Srila Prabhupada?
Well, it should be, and I believe is that if you take temple prasadam, it is offered to Srila Prabhupada.
Sometimes I think the GBC instruction was you can worship your living guru, but put him down on the floor, not on the altar.
You
Because
mean that
before
you cook prasadam, you cook boga, you give it to your guru without offering it to the deity at all?
well, they consider the guru to be in the parampara.
Well, that's not so much the point what they consider. The question is, do they actually do that? Do they bring a dish for the guru to eat that is not offered to Krishna first?
I mean, in the
Or,
temple, it used to be
or
they put a photograph of their guru nearby on a chair or
so this
something,
is
not on
not,
the altar.
they give it to the guru directly and not on the altar?
Before it was on the altar, and then GBC Revolution came and they said, don't put it on the altar, the photograph, but put it nearby. But they still, I think,
Well,
offer
you
it
mean
to the
they don't make any offering at the temple of foodstuffs?
well,
They make no offering for the deity, only the guru?
the guru passed it to Srila Prabhupada, they think. Well, is that proper?
It's not what I'm asking. Normally in a temple, the pujari comes out with plates of offerings and puts it in front of the deity and then holds an arti ceremony and offers it in that manner to the deity. Are you saying that they don't do that anymore in the ISKCON temples? In Los Angeles, they do it. They offer to the deity and then they offer to everyone. They give it, the prasad. When the deity is satisfied, then they distribute pots of prasadam to everyone.
I think the standard is not the same everywhere, because I do see that there's a photograph of their living guru in the area of the deities.
On the altar? Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
not on the altar, but
They do have it.
they do. And of course, we have seen
At
the
least Berkeley.
Murti, the statue of Radhanath also on the altar.
Oh yeah, in
I don't know where
Sacramento
it
they
is.
have it. Yeah, yeah.
Is the
Imagine
statue
that.
of Radhanath, is the statue on the altar?
Yeah,
On the altar.
And where
it's
on the
incredible.
altar where in relation to Gaur-Nitai is he on the altar?
He's right next to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Prabhupada is here. Radhanath is right next to him.
In Sacramento.
Statue, meaning like a murti.
Wait.
Sacramento.
Prabhupada is normally
Ah,
big fiberglass figure sitting on the Vyasasana.
yeah.
So he's standing on the
Yes.
same Vyasasana as Prabhupada?
Yeah,
Yes.
at the side.
Well, how big is the Murti of Radhanath?
Same
size as Prabhupada.
Same size.
Like
You're
same
joking.
size.
It's
Like
not Bonaf.
this size, rather. Yeah.
I
I've
can
seen it
get
in
the
Sacramento with Mount Nice.
Okay.
In Los Angeles, the Murti of Prabhupada is life size.
Okay.
Are you saying that
Not
the
on the
Radhanath
altar.
Murti is also life size?
On the altar, it's not
confusing.
big, you
You're
know.
saying that
It's,
the
Prabhupada, like the,
Radhanath is on the altar or on a Vyasasana?
on the same level
on a
as
Vyasasan,
Prabhupada.
right next to same level as Prabhupada.
Prabhupada
Yeah.
is not on the altar.
He is. But before him is Radhanath.
On the lowest level. He's on the lowest level, meaning there's 3 levels. There's the Acharya level.
Usually it's
There's
a
another
photograph.
level.
No,
Yeah.
it's a
But they have
statue.
On the,
murtis of
on the
Prabhupada.
top level is Gaur-Nitai, Radha Krishna, and Jagannath, right?
Yes.
On the top level. Then
Right.
the next level down, there should be photographs of the Sampradaya.
Yes. Yes. So right
But
next to
Sacramento,
Prabhupada's murti, like a small.
There's no
I'll
Murti
show
on
you.
the altar.
there is. In
Prabhupada's
Sacramento,
Murti is not on the.
Ramachandra is saying.
I would have to
Ramachandra
see a
is
photograph.
saying.
Where is Prabhupada's Murti on the altar? I've never seen it.
In Sacramento, there is. Ronald is.
Is there a Murti of
Yeah, I'll
every
show it
single
to
one
you.
of the? Okay, there's Prabhupada's Murti is there. Is also Bhaktisiddhanta Murti, Gaur-Kishore Murti.
Well, they're all there.
Someone mute their music. Who's playing that music?
Shuvans, is that you? Welcome.
No, I'm muted. I muted that person.
Okay.
You see it
Who
here.
is it?
Ah, yeah, it's here.
You see it rather not here.
Already immortal. You know?
Okay, so what you're saying is these are little Murtis, little tiny statues.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, the parampara.
And they are all on the altar. I've never seen
Yes.
that before. I've never seen
Yeah,
What
I
is
saw
this
it
for?
recently.
Prabhuji, can you explain?
They used to do that with the other 11 gurus, then they stopped doing it.
Mhm.
Ramachandra Prabhuji, can you make it big?
You know, turn your phone around and zoom in. Turn your phone around and zoom in. Like, yeah.
Yes, yes.
See it?
So the first one is Radhanath.
Yeah, this is Radhanath here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then second?
Yeah.
Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Then
But
Bhakti
I will
Siddhanta.
ask. Okay. Can I ask?
Go ahead.
Wow.
I'll stop share now.
Where is this?
This is in
So is that-
Sacramento, California.
Is that bona fide? I mean, it's not, of course. But it's not even dead. Mutis is for dead people, deported ones. Prabhu Narayan.
Not necessarily.
Not
We used to have a Murti of Prabhupada and a Vyasasan. Wait a second, I don't know that for a fact.
okay.
I think that when they had when Prabhupada was still here, amongst us, that they had a picture of Prabhupada on the Vyasasan, and when Prabhupada came, they took down the picture. After Prabhupada entered Samadhi, they put a murti on the Vyasasan.
Yeah, that's
Mm,
okay. But
Yeah.
for the living guru,
Yeah. Well,
it's
that's
different.
okay for Prabhupada, but why you have a bunch of Uttama Adhikaris and then you have a Kanista Adhikari sitting next to them on the same level?
As good as God. Because they worship as God. They worship as God, as good as Krishna every day.
Well, what is he an Uttama Adhikari?
No, not yet.
Maybe
Is Radhanath an Uttama Adhikari?
maybe the disciples are thinking that he is Uttamadakari. I don't know what they're thinking, but you know,
They
Anyway,
are probably not thinking.
they're probably not thinking. You're right.
They just accept. You say
Ah.
he's guru, so I accept. And that you see what that is? It's like Catholicism. You have the priest. He tells you what to believe, and then he
Mhm.
says, and the rest is up to me. And you go to eat the body of Christ and they drink the blood of Christ at the sacraments, in communion. And when you do that, you give away your autonomy. You give away your independence.
Mhm.
You give it to the process, to the sacrament, and to the priest, who is only sacred when he is performing the ceremony. That's how they get away with child molestation, is because when they're not on the altar, when they're not offering, doing mass or offering the sacrament to people, then they're just priests. They don't have any special status. The
Yeah.
status comes to them as they perform their duties or their service. It's like a pujari is sacred on the altar, not sacred when he's not on the altar.
Yeah,
Because
the double standard. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, certainly when a pujari is on the altar making an offering, it's a higher status of existence than when he's wandering around looking for his other shoe. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this is fine tuning. I do think that the Brahmin performing the yajna is given special reverence, very similar to the priest. But that doesn't mean the devotee is still accountable for his behavior. And we do not have weekly confession where he can say, I molested 4 kids this week and I confess now I'm going to be pure again so I can initiate 5 next week. Molest 5 next week. That doesn't work in ISKCON. You can't do that.
Mhm. Huh.
So the question was, is Boga offered to this line of parampara? Is that correct? Will it go to Krishna? Does it become prasad?
Yes. If it's offered to Krishna, it becomes prasad. The process is
No.
Prabhupada Gaurnitai Radha Krishna. In that
No,
order.
but the boga is offered from the top to the lower one, or from the living guru up?
No, it goes from the lower one to the top.
That's what I
Lower
meant.
is not lower.
If,
Prabhupada is not lower than Krishna.
no,
It's on
I'm
the
not.
same
I'm not
platform.
talking about Prabhupada. I'm talking about the living guru.
The
He's the
Radhanath.
disciple of.
In,
Yeah.
in that picture, there was,
Why not call them initiators? It'll make more sense. Calling them living gurus confuses the matter because we think a living guru is an Uttamadhikari, because that's what it says in the Shastra. So they're not
the
living gurus.
offer to the initiator is not bona fide.
they have a way of doing it, and I think that it's publicly known, and it's probably easy enough to find somewhere. Ramachandra knows how to find these things for sure. And the thing is, they changed the order in which things were offered because they considered that they could not be the primary recipient. Maybe they've changed that now since then. But no, they're not they changed it so that Prabhupada would be the primary recipient. But I
Not
don't
according
know.
to Ramachandra.
That's 1 year. The next year may be different. You never can tell with these guys.
But I think it's actual according to Ramachandra. Can you confirm?
Well, confirm what, Prabhu?
The
What
statue is
order?
still there?
The statue's still there, yeah.
Well, never
Yeah,
mind statues.
that's it.
In the ISKCON temple, who is offered the offering to Krishna first?
Ramachandra?
I don't know. That is not an ISKCON temple. It's someone's home who has
I see.
the Radhanath as the initiator.
I see.
It's not a temple. It's not an
So
ISKCON
it's not
temple.
an ISKCON temple.
I
Then
see.
why are we bothering with it?
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Because I
Why-
thought it was in the temple.
I
thought it was in the
thinking
temple.
you Prabhus, that you were telling me that is the way they do it nowadays in the ISKCON temples. But they have very strict rules how to do in the ISKCON temples.
There's no temple, he said that. There's no temple in Saka.
Anyways, let's.
After 40.
Yeah, that was a home altar.
Okay.
Well, that's whatever anybody wants to. You can put anything on the home altar. He could put a Murphy
Yeah.
Verdi of his pet cat on the altar. There's no way to stop him.
But it doesn't go to Krishna. That's what I mean.
Who cares?
It's gonna
his
go to
home
the cat
altar.
then.
Yeah, it goes to
The
the cat. The point being, what you do at your house is your business. It has nothing to do with offering to Krishna. It has to do with what you think in your brain or your head, if you have one,
Yeah.
as to what they're doing,
Right.
I see.
So we can't worry
Let's
about
carry.
what people are doing like that,
Well,
Can't worry.
if all the
Because
disciples are doing
individuals in their
this,
home, they can do it as they please.
the thing, if all the disciples are doing this, this is gross,
It may be, but are you saying that these disciples never go to the temple?
There's no temple.
What?
In Sacramento,
Radhanath there are temples that Radhanath has opened.
I didn't hear that. Too much noise.
Radhanath has a temple in Chapati,
Yeah,
India.
I don't
think he
know.
also has other temples as well, no? The question is, are we talking about an ISKCON temple, or are we talking about somebody's household or fantasy?
Well, the statue was at someone's home, so it's not temple.
Okay, and is this on the order of Radhanath, or did they just do it on their own?
I can't know. We don't know.
So
But in
we need not
Mauritius, it's
worry
not
about-
like that.
we should not worry about it. What people do in their homes, and God only knows they do some pretty creepy stuff in their homes also. Why are we concerned with what people are doing in their homes? We're trying to create and understand the 10,000 year club.
Hmm.
Rupa Banjari, I talked to her today for 2 hours. And when I finished talking to her, I asked her, do you want to sign up on this document here? I pretended to hand her one over the phone. And I said, do you want to sign this that you want to become a member of the 10,000 year club? And she said, yes. She was completely enthusiastic. I explained it just like as we actually have created that on this meetings, on these Zoom calls. We created the structure of how it would work and what it would do, this 10,000 Year Club. And it's based, as we've talked before, on the fact that no one is going to go back to Godhead at the end of this lifetime, or at least it's extremely unlikely. You see, what is going to happen at the end of this lifetime? Let's say if a person is a Kanista Adhikari, how long will it take them to go from the bottom layer of Kanista Adhikari to the top layer, meaning ready to enter Madhyam Adhikari? Can he do it in a few hours? Of course he could, but can he do it in a few hours, in a few weeks, in a few months, a few years? Or how about a few lifetimes? How long will it take before he starts at the bottom in a disgusting state of mind, and as you say, only interested in collecting money and stuff like that, and moving upward gradually? It will take, if he's only interested in money and he stays in the temple, then he dies, he goes, takes another birth in the temple and goes up higher and higher each time. He becomes a devotee, and in the Kanista platform. So he could go through Kanista, a guy at the bottom could go through Kanista Adhikari for 10 lifetimes or more, 20, 30 lifetimes before he comes to the point of wanting to become a Madhyam Adhikari. It's not like a 1, 2, 3, we're done.